creating that one just there. Thank you. Thank you. So I'll just wait while everybody kind of exits the door. Right, so I work in a part of Nokia that is all about innovation and about making the lives of developers, publishers, your individual kind of brand, their lives easier in terms of navigating through our various SDKs, platforms, all of the positive things that deliver you reach and scale with Nokia, and also that sometimes can be a headache if you don't know what you're doing. So I work for the part of the organization that is responsible for putting enablers and solutions in place to help you kind of get kick-started to developing for the OVI store. So what I'm going to concentrate on today is really very much about Nokia's journey in terms of creating local OV stores and the barriers that we are trying to lower in order to get developers and publishers to create applications for the OV store itself. Okay, so let's get started. I don't think I need to tell anybody that, you know, there's a global market out there in terms of applications. Apple has taught us that already. I don't even need to cite the numbers, but what I do need to remind you of is that, and what we seem to have forgotten about, is the fact that Nokia has a global footprint and is a global player. And if you really want to play in this market, all roads do naturally lead to Nokia. Just to give you a few facts, we have sold 250 million devices with OV Store preloaded in it over the last kind of between 2008 and 2009, and 13 million of them alone in India. So there is definitely that opportunity there, which needs to be taken further advantage of. It is a fact that the OV Store globally has active users in 190 different countries. But you don't want to hear about the global picture. What you want to know about is what we're doing locally. And it's not a surprise that if you want stickiness to your devices, if you want usage, if you want consumer satisfaction, then you need to have local adaptation. Local adaptation is the key to reach. It's not a surprise that local market content is definitely a download driver, and that over 80% of consumers on the OV Store in different markets are actually purchasing in their own local currency, and that an average OV Store user or downloader is downloading 11 content items, and the OV Store does actually reach or receives 12 downloads a second every 24 days. 24 hours a day, sorry, not every 24 days. So, what else do we have here? A localized store for 90% of mobile consumers, and 91 operator partners, 27 countries, and publishers from 90 different markets. So there's the scale of the opportunity. But really, you know, what are we doing to help you take advantage of that local opportunity? And how are we making the creation process and the publishing process a lot simpler, a lot faster, and a lot easier so that you are able to create and monetize content opportunities from the OVI store? And it's very simple. It's through a new series of tools which are either completely free or at a significantly lower cost. And the first of these tools is called the OV App Wizard, which is it's essentially the fastest way to get an application created, distributed, marketed, and then monetized on the Ovi store. What you are able to do in a matter of 5 minutes is take any kind of feed, whether it's an RSS feed, a Facebook feed, a Twitter feed, a YouTube feed, or a blog feed, customize your application with branding, monetize it via advertising or make it chargeable, and distribute that content on the current 100 devices that are supported on the Ovi store. We take care of the publishing process and also the marketing process. The Ovi App Wizard will enable you to evaluate the Ovi store as a platform if you're shy and you haven't tried it before. It will allow you to acquire new customers. It will definitely allow you to monetize content at the moment via advertising and very soon via billing. It's free to use, so no cost to the publisher. It's free to publish. It is actually idiot-proof because there are no programming skills required. It's very, very simple. If you choose to sell your app, you can. If you choose to monetize it via advertising, you can. And you can create the assets to promote your application all in a matter of minutes. As I said, it supports 100 devices that are supported on the Ovi iStore at the moment. You basically get 2 sets of files, a Java verified file for our non-touch devices, a web runtime file for our touch devices, including Symbian 3, so the N8, which we've recently launched, and going forward also MeeGo devices. It's a step-by-step creation process. If you're a programmer, you can use it. If you're a bedroom developer, you can use it. If you're me, who's not from a technical background, you can use it. The templates are very advanced in the sense that you can share the applications via Twitter and Facebook. It's an end-to-end process in the sense that you can create the online banners to promote your application within the tool. All the QA process is taken care of. And if you modify your application and you upgrade your application, the consumer is automatically notified of that update that there is a new application in the store waiting for you to download. So we've launched the Ovi App Wizard in beta just under a year ago. And just to cite you a couple of statistics, we fully rolled it out in May 2010. Now globally we have over 4,000 App Wizard applications live on the Ovi store, which have generated over 7 million downloads to date and rising. We have a definite commitment to the further development of the Ovi App Wizard. This is not something that is going to go away soon. In fact, we were first to market with such a tool. It's an online self-serve tool. And we'll be announcing enhancements to the App Wizard in a matter of weeks. Now, I was going to do a live demo, but we're going to be doing some demos at the Nokia Forum Nokia stand over there. The Wi-Fi hasn't been very stable here, so I don't want to do a disservice to the tool. So if you want to come across to the stand after this session, I can do some demos for you. Okay. So whereas the Ovi App Wizard is a self-serve online application creator that's simple and easy to use, what we're also doing is putting in place solutions that tackle also the mid-tier of publishers, that enable them to rapidly create applications for the Ovi store with economies of scale. So we are partnering with platform partners with expertise in specific genres of content. And we are making those available to publishers globally. The first one you see here is news publishers, and we have already had a number of significant brands in various markets come on board, as you can see here, the Metro and the Khaleej Times. The Quick Start News solution enables publishers to keep full editorial control over their content, yet enabling them to customize and brand their applications to their satisfaction. The second vertical or solution that we've rolled out as part of the Quick Start program is an end-to-end radio streaming solution. We are talking to a number of radio stations in India as well, but as you can see here, you've got KissCube and NRJ as examples. And here are some other examples in terms of entertainment apps, travel applications, and comic applications. As I said, we are putting the creation process, the distribution process, but then also the marketing process. So we've just launched the Ovi marketing tool, which enables you to basically take your application or your asset that is live on the Ovi store, create a set of either standardized or non-standardized banners, and use that inventory to promote your application either on the Ovi store or Nokia's own media or in online media outside. In addition to that, we have also made signing free for all Java and Symbian applications. And the one key thing, a significant change for the Ovi store is that anyone can publish. Whether you are a bedroom developer or a large brand or a content aggregator, anyone can publish to the Ovi store. So, over the last 18 months, we've made a significant inroad into trying to lower the barriers to making applications for the Ovi store. They're simple, they're easy. These are not trying to replace our platforms and our SDKs. What they're trying to do is kickstart the process of development for the Ovi store. So the new tools are the Ovi App Wizard, Ovi Quick Start, and the Ovi Marketing tool. And then we're also reducing the cost for publication by free signing, individuals publishing, and I think it's about €1 to publish anything in the Ovi store now. Short and sweet. That must be a record. Message. We're on our way, and we're committed to this process, and it's growing. Yeah? So the applications that are created from the Ovi App Wizard are available in the Ovi store under exactly the same commercial conditions as if you had actually created the application. So if you monetize via advertising, we don't currently take a cent. If you charge your application, then it's the same revenue share, 70-30.
What kind of application wizard would you recommend or suggest for an application like a call 20 callers? I make 20 calls at a predetermined time every day. So I want an application wizard to set that up on my mobile.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you clearly. What kind of...
Since you've been, I understand that you won an award for
Yes, we did.
Application wizard, and you've been talking about it at length. So what kind of application wizard would you suggest for an application to call? Yes. What do you say? Hello. What kind of application wizard would you suggest to make a call to 20 callers?
Okay.
The same callers every day.
Okay, you know what I would do? I would actually suggest bespoke development because that's a pretty bespoke spec. So the reason that this is very simple is because it has broad appeal. Because it is actually targeting a format of content. So it's targeting feeds. So it's targeting a web feed, a blog feed, a YouTube feed, a Facebook feed, or a Twitter feed. And this is a very common kind of format of content that a publisher, a brand, or a developer is going to have. And it's the simplicity of the tool because it is a self-serve tool. You don't need to do anything. You create your own ID, you register your details, you go through the process of entering your feeds, uploading your icon and your logo, cropping that within the tool, and putting in your metadata, i.e. your search words, and you press publish. And that then goes through the QA process, the moderation process, and it is live. Okay. So it's an end-to-end tool, which
so is that akin to the publishing wizard tool of the Microsoft?
I wouldn't want to compare because what we have created is very much for the Nokia ecosystem. So it's designed to take publishers through the whole process of creating and submitting and getting applications live for the Ovi store. So,
would you tell me one more time what is the name of the application wizard tool?
It's called the Ovi App Wizard. Please do come by the stand and I can do a demo for you.
Thanks much.
Yeah? It goes through exactly the same QA process that any application does on the Ovi, for the Ovi store. So it goes through moderation first, which is, checking for against brand abusive content, all this kind of stuff. And then you check the feeds, you check the quality of the graphics, you check the functionality on devices. So the App Wizard actually generates 2 files. So a Java verified file for non-touch devices and a web runtime for touch devices, so it's checked on that. And then it's also obviously checked for IPR. Are you actually the legitimate owner of the content that is that you're submitting?
Frankly, the reason why I'm asking is because even though the App Wizard makes it easy for anyone to start an app, I see thousands of almost useless applications on the OVS store. Like anyone with a blog and RSS feed is now able to create an app and publish to the App Store, which is actually diluting the App Store.
Okay, so the idea behind the Ovi App Wizard is not volume. It's not to it's not to fill the OVI store with rubbish. So you go through the same QA process that you would do for any. So if you have a partial feed or the content is of no interest to anybody, it's rejected. As I said, we have just under 4,000 apps globally. And what we're not chasing here is number of applications because we don't want a crowded store. What we do want is diversity. And what we do want is a mechanic that enables you to deliver local content to the store in a simple and quick manner. This is not designed to replace our bespoke development or, developing for Qt or MeeGo. This is designed to enable a particular format of content and give you a bit of a teaser in terms of, what the Ovi store can deliver you. We do face a challenge. We need to get publishers developing, and this is a quick and simple way to test out what the Ovi store can provide you with so that we can get on a roadmap to develop content further, more bespoke content.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question regarding, when the Ovi store will accept any Qt applications. I think currently it doesn't accept any Qt applications. When do you think it will be ready?
That's a question for my Forum Nokia colleagues. I come by the stand and they can answer that for you.
And one more thing, what stops you from actually accepting Qt applications? Because Nokia owns the Qt, and why don't it market maybe a Qt installer so that people actually install it? Why do you recommend people to go and actually install it from any other source? Why do the Ovi store have Qt installers?
Yeah, I think that's particularly with reference to the N8. I don't think that's going to be the strategy going forward. But I really would recommend that you speak to one of my colleagues whose day job it is to actually enable the creation of Qt applications.
And when you have Forum Nokia, which is also a platform for people to take applications, don't you think Ovi Store should be the one single point where they can also have the Forum Nokia applications? Because I think, they do have different set of applications. You have
Okay,
some.
not at all. So the distribution channel, i.e. The place that publishers go to publish and where applications are available, is all the OV store. What we do have as an organization is different parts that are responsible for, I guess, different stakeholders or different communities. So Forum Nokia is actually there as developer relations and technical expertise for developing for our, for our platforms. The applications that are generated from that all end up in the OV store, for sure. And then you have global partnering and the piece that I sit in, which is kind of, it's all about mass scale and volume solutions.
One last thing, I hear a lot of these comments about content and quality. Mm-hmm. Okay, when you are talking about any collection thing, the immediate thing that you remember is about Google, and you remember about YouTube. When you say OV store, don't you think that we should have a collection of something like thousands and maybe lakhs of applications? I don't think we can actually decimate like this is useful, this is not useful. A simple theme could be a very useful stuff to many.
Sure, I think it's a very personal opinion. Obviously, you need to have the diversity available there for your consumer, so it's the consumer that decides. But I personally don't believe in a crowded environment. If your consumer is getting fed up and going page down, page down, page down and can't find what they want, then what have you done for them? So you need to have an effective selection of content that appeals to all tastes, branded and non-branded. You need to have an effective merchandising solution that enables them to tease out what they want, a search functionality that works. So yes, definitely an appropriate amount of content in all content genres, but I definitely don't believe in a flooded store. But that's my personal opinion.
Are you confident that OV Store can host 1 lakh applications, 1 lakh applications?
Oh, the OV Store can host, we've put in a robust infrastructure. The OV Store can, it'll host as many applications as we want it to. It's just a question of what we see as the number. And what you've got to remember is that we have many stores. We have a global store. Then we have a store in South Africa and a store in India. Our stores are local stores. So you have, the number of applications vary in the different markets. So it's not one store.
Okay, thanks.
When you say you believe in niche marketing, would you...
Of course, yes, absolutely. So we have, you've heard the recent announcements over the last week. At the moment, we've got a couple of devices in the market, and that's definitely the way that we are going in terms of, our platform of choice for development. So as the devices come, so will the applications and the infrastructure to create around that.
So for Nokia, prefer more developers to develop more Maemo or Maygo? Which you prefer?
Well, it's all in the same thing. It's just in terms of the partnership, how it's entitled. In terms of our strategy going forward, yes, it's definitely one of the focuses.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Just have you seen a OBI app where the search keyword could be entered, and when the user wants to look for something specific? So have you seen such apps running on OEI?
I can say from the markets that I have seen is that the focus is very much on marketing applications and how you get applications in the OV store. So I don't know what particular executions have been rolled out here.
Have you seen this style of execution as searching by keyword and?
Not in this in this market. It's much more around what is available in the OV store in terms of the applications and how simple it is to get those applications. It's more about the user journey and how you go, where you go, how you get it, and the flow.
Yeah, I'm sure not a part of that journey.
So I am from a content provider background, and I've also worked for a carrier. So I'll be the first one to admit that packaging and messaging is something that we're getting better at, but could do better. Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much,
One
Nisha.
last thing. We launched WordPress. It uses the Qt installer, Smart installer in the OVA store. And ironically, it fails half of the time. So it's not fully integrated, but Qt apps are available in OVA store.
Qt apps are available in the OV store, that's for sure. But
And
I
it
think
uses
the question
the
was in specific reference to whether the installer is going to be there going forward.
Yeah,
and
Yeah, it uses the Smart installer, Qt Smart installer.
yeah.
Okay, is it recommended? I mean, the Qt Smart installer is been. I mean, are we pushing for it? Because I could see there are a lot of Qt apps over there, and probably I think OV Store is having a team, some team like YouTube team which pushes up videos. I think there should be someone who is pushing it. You can't depend entirely on somebody to publish, develop and publish something. I mean, I think it's like.
Well, there are definitely changes in applications, and definitely more than 100 apps in the OV store.
No, but they are device specific. I mean,
They are,
it
of
could
course,
be for
device specific,
S40,
yeah.
but they could be very few for, I mean, S3 or Vasco phones or new ones.
I think the USP of Nokia is that you're only shown applications that are relevant to your device. So you want to be able to see what you can download.
Yes, I would love to see an increase in that and more of the Qt apps. Because
Well, this is why these tools are here.
Thank you, Nisha. Thank you.